Red Sox were going for their fifth straight series win here today against the Padres, but that wasn't going to be happening here today. Dropping the series in San Diego. Final score today, 6-2. Dylan Cease. Man, oh man, there was a reason that teams wanted Dylan Cease at the trade deadline, even with the high ERA that he had on the year coming into today. He looked fantastic. The Red Sox couldn't really do anything with him all day. They were able to come up with something there in the seventh inning. That was their best shot. Bases loaded, no outs. Unbelievable for the Red Sox to not come through there, but just goes to show this Padres bullpen. We talked about it last night. If you joined us late last night, they have, I would say right now, the best bullpen in all of Major League Baseball. You got arms just all over the place in that bullpen, man. They just showed you what they could do. Bases loaded, no outs. They can come in and shut it down. So the Red Sox, they weren't able to come through there. Brian Bale here today. Not a bad start for Brian Bale necessarily, but it kind of reminded me of Giolito a little bit last night, where he looked fine early on, and then just as you went further, you started coming apart here. Bale charged with 5 earned runs today. First time since May 18th he's given up or he's been charged with more than 5 earned runs. We talked about it last night in the preview. This guy has been phenomenal for over a couple of months now. And so, hey, the Padres, they just showed you here today how good their lineup is, all the bats they got. That's a very good team over there in San Diego. But Bale, he looked good early. He had the good swing and miss going. 27% whiff rate on the day for him today compared to a 20% on the season. Changeup was looking great early on. He had 6 swings on the changeup today, 6 whiffs. Man, that changeup, he was having some issues with it in the early going, but it's been looking really good here over the last several starts. He threw it mostly to lefties today. But again, he just started coming apart. He unraveled later on. The command started to dip. He was leaving some pitches over the plate that ended up killing him. He was falling behind hitters. He had 3 walks on the day. There were times where he just couldn't finish off hitters. Again, kind of like Giolito last night, where he was able to hold it together for the most part in the beginning, and then he just unraveled towards the end. So we'll dive into his start in just a little bit. In the end, hey, the Padres, they were just the better team here today. Cease looked great. Bullpen was solid. The bats were coming through. Luis Arraez, by the way. Holy cow, Luis Arraez. This guy, I think he ended up hitting 500 in this series. Luis Arraez, man. Unbelievable. That guy's good. Everyone, before we dive into it, if you can, just hit the like button for me. I see a lot of familiar faces here in the chat. We got Andrew. We got George. We got Eric. We got Jennifer. We got Emily. What's going on, everyone? Austin, how you doing? Hit that like button for me. We are trying to get to 50 likes here for the live show, and we are trying to get to 5K by the end of the season. We are within 500 subscribers of making that happen. So thank you for all the support, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are watching on Nesson, hope you're having a good day today. Let's get this going here, shall we? Let's get this going. And also, we are going to be talking a little minor league baseball today. Payton Tuley making his AAA debut. Christian Campbell making some noise down at AAA. We'll talk about it in just a little bit, but let's get into this one today, shall we? Let's get into it. So, when it came to Brian Bale for this one here today, like I said, he looked good early on. He struck out Machado on a nasty changeup. I even tweeted about it. I'm like, man, his changeup's looking good. And even though ended up not having a great start overall, that still held true. I mean, like I said, he got 6 whiffs out of 6 swings on that changeup today. Third inning, he was looking really sharp to start things off. Struck out Laureano Cronenworth if you're thinking this guy's going to be cruising here. But then, Freddie Fermin with the base hit, Tatis hit by pitch. Again, you started to see that command start to waver just a little bit here. You started seeing signs of it. But then here's an example of where he had a guy on the ropes, had Luis Arraez 0-2, but Luis Arraez, it's going to be very hard to strike him out. So in the end, he just couldn't get the job done. But fastball right down the middle of the plate, you can't be leaving stuff over the zone for Arraez. I mean, you cannot be, leaving just meatballs right over the middle there. You got to be working the corners with Arraez. And, hey, he just did what he's always done. pokes it out gets it out there, falls for a base hit, right? Fifth inning, Cronenworth, he had the double there. It was a fastball. It was up out of the zone. Wasn't a bad pitch necessarily, but Cronenworth, he's been solid. He did well with it. Tatis with the base hit. They made it 3-0 at the time. It was a cutter right down the middle. Can't be leaving cutters right over the middle of the plate. Got to go a bit more in on those or a bit more away. And then the sixth inning, this is where he started to fall apart here. He was falling behind guys. He was walking batters. He looked gassed to me. Same thing, Giolito last night. It just looked like he just ran out of gas, right? He fell behind Machado, and then he gave up the base hit. Machado ended up stealing second base. Bogarts blooping one out to left field, falling just a little further from Roman. That made it 4-0. Back-to-back walks to Merrill, Laureano, and that was it for Brian Bale. The final line for him on the day, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 5 earned, 7 Ks, 3 walks. Again, this guy, he's been phenomenal here for a while, and he just ran into a good Padres team here today. So it is what it is. But let's get to this offense here. Let's get to the offense here. And, real quick, the bullpen, Murphy, he ended up coming in. He walked in Cronenworth. That made it 5-0. Weissert, he came in for the 7th. Tatis Arise had the base hit. So Hearn with the sac fly. That made it 6-2. And unfortunately, just this offense, they just weren't very competitive here today. Dylan Cease, absolutely dominant in the first 3 innings. He retired the first 6 batters of the game. Willier with the base hit. And then he got into the double play. Wong ground out there. Cease, guy was phenomenal in the first 3 innings. 4th inning, he walked Roman, and then he struck out the next 3. 5th inning, Romy, base hit, but that was it. 6th inning, Connor Wong with the K. Roman had the base hit, but then Bregman with the double play. So they just could not figure this guy out here today. But the 7th inning, this is where I'm thinking, oh man, we might have something cooking here. We might have something cooking. Duran with the walk in the 7th. Story with the base hit. That was it for Dylan Cease. Overall for him on the day, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned, 7 Ks, 2 walks. Jason Adam came in. Massa hit by a pitch. Bases loaded, no outs. Romy ground ball to Xander. Went off of him. Charged with an error. Got by him. Runner scored. Or 2 runners scored there. Duran Story came in. They made it 5-2. Willier with the base hit made it 5-3. You had no outs still at this point. Seti with the K, though. Unfortunate. Abraham Toro. Let's talk about Abraham Toro here. He ended up pinch hitting for Wong, which I do think was the right move. I mean, listen, Connor Wong, sure, he had the double a couple of nights ago. But Abraham Toro, yes, I do think that was the better option, going with the lefty bat against the righty arm. But in the end, Toro just couldn't do anything. Well, actually, hold on 1 second. I think I might have missed something on my notes. Hold on. Was that when Morahan came in? Oh, no, Morahan came in after that. So Abraham Toro, he was still going in against Jason Adam. And but Toro, he's 4 for his last 25 after this, right? He ended up striking out. This is kind of where you go back to the trade deadline, and you would have really liked to have seen an upgrade at first base. Toro, sure, he's had some good moments this year, but this is where you look back and you think, man, could you have gotten Josh Naylor? Could you have somehow, some way gotten Ryan O'Hearn before A.J. Preller got his hands on him? Even someone like Eugenio Suarez, in that spot. It's tough. Toro, again, he's had some good moments this year, but you kind of just, that's what I was thinking at that moment. I'm thinking, man, if only we maybe could have landed someone, Naylor in that spot. Who knows what could happen there? Roman, that's when Morahan came in after that. The lefty-lefty matchup. Roman working the count full. Then he struck out. Roman, I don't understand this, because I'm seeing people, Roman, he's striking out in that spot. But I'm seeing people like, oh, Roman, he's not worth this contract. It's like, what in the world are we talking about here? He just tied the game up in the 9th inning last night. I'm not understanding that. This guy's hitting over 300 over his last 30 games. Please stop it. My goodness, not everyone's going to be able to come through and be perfect in every single spot. It's just, it is what it is. It's, my goodness. Roman Anthony is absolutely fine, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand that one. That was pretty much it for today, ladies and gentlemen. You had your big spot there in the 7th. You couldn't come through. You got to come through in those spots. But I couldn't help but wonder if maybe they had a better bat over Toro here. He's been struggling as of late. But that is where I get to someone like Christian Campbell down at AAA. We'll go take a look at him in just a little bit, but he has been hitting well as of late. I wonder at some point, could Christian Campbell get the call again, and then you could see more of him at first base? I do wonder about that. So feels like maybe you could use a bit of an upgrade there, and that could be a solution. Could be a solution. Before we do get to the Astros series, we do have a word from our sponsor. I'll be right back. The dog days of summer means it's time for the boys of summer to kick it into gear, and the best way to cash in on your baseball IQ is with the DraftKings Sportsbook. If you've never bet on baseball before, well, it's simple. You pick a guy to go yard, you hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. And here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code FOUL. That's code FOUL for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Alrighty, let's take a look here at the updated standings. Taking a look-see, shall we? And as of right now, the Red Sox 65 and 54. They're now 4 back in the East, but still holding on very firmly to one of these wild card spots here. And when it comes to, hold on one second, my screen sharing is not helping me out here. There we go. So as of right now, the Red Sox, they're in the second wild card spot. The Mariners, they've been red hot as of late. They've won 9 out of their last 10. They've won 7 straight games. They got the first wild card spot. This Yankees team, they are really struggling as of late. I believe they just dropped, they dropped another one here to the Astros today. I believe they just dropped that series. This Yankees team, my goodness, they are free-falling right now. So, I mean, hey, you dropped the series here this weekend, but you're still looking pretty good. You're still in a good spot here. Sure, yes, wild card is looking all right, but I'm going to be honest here. I got the eyes on the division, right? This Blue Jays team, they've been playing solid this year. They're going, they'll be in Toronto for their next series. The Cubs are coming to town. And for the Red Sox, they got the Astros on the road. Their road trip continues here on the West Coast. Good news is we got Garrett Crochet tomorrow. Tomorrow is Pig Day, ladies and gentlemen. It is Pig Day in Houston. And interesting matchup here for the Red Sox. They got Christian Javier for the Astros. You might be thinking to yourself, man, I haven't heard that name in a little while. Well, Christian Javier, he has not pitched in a long time. He ended up missing pretty much all of last year after getting Tommy John. He only made 7 starts in 2024. But 2023, I believe it was right there in the beginning of the season, he threw a no-hitter. Kind of just one of these like out of nowhere no-hitters. He had 31 starts that year. ERA, he started wavering in the second half that year. He was solid in the first, but he started coming apart there in the second. One big issue that Christian Javier was having back in 23 was the home run rate. 1.4 home runs per 9 back then. Over the 31 starts, he had a 4.56 ERA. FIP was right around the same at a 4.58. So let's see, making his season debut here. If we were to go take a look at those metrics from 2023, the thing with Javier, he's going to really lead with the fastball, but not a whole lot of velo. He's going to be more in the lower 90s there. If we actually take a look when it came to the movement profile on his fastball, back in, we saw it last year too, a lot of vertical movement on the fastball, pretty decent life on it. So that's something you got to pay attention to. It's, sure, it's not the hardest, but it's got something on it, right? Kind of like Imanaga, sort of, in a way, where Imanaga's better, of course. But Javier, the metrics in 2023, he was pretty middle of the road when it came to the average exit velo, chase rate, whiff rate, K rate, but he was giving up a lot of barrels. He was in the 25th percentile then. Oh, another thing with Christian Javier as well, this guy is not going to get a whole lot of ground balls. He was in the first percentile when it came to the ground ball percentage back in 23. So this is going to be a good shot for the Red Sox. Put the ball in the air, do some damage. Let's see. And a guy that's making his season debut, hey, always got to watch out for the rust. We'll see. But obviously, it's, we're looking at Garrett Crochet here for tomorrow. He's been phenomenal this year. Taking a look at his last start. Very good against Kansas City. Walked off the mound all pumped up. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned, 8 strikeouts against KC. So, yeah, this is looking like a good matchup here. But, I said the same thing last night when you took a look at the numbers, right? When it came to the pitches that Dylan Cease throws, the Red Sox have done well against them. But it always comes down to execution. It can look good on paper, but in the end, you got to go out there and do the job. And Dylan Cease, he had a good game plan today. He was phenomenal. So the Red Sox, they're going to have to execute here. Garrett Crochet, though, that's a good sign. He's been phenomenal. For game two here, they are going to be going with Dustin May, making his second start. I know we're going to have to see what happens here with Dustin May over the next couple of starts, but I just wonder if the bullpen is going to be his home eventually. He did not look great. He wasn't able to go deep in his last start, had a high pitch count, couldn't even get through 4. Dustin May. We'll see how this ends up going. But the Red Sox, they got another guy that's just coming back here, Spencer Arrighetti. He just came back not too long ago against the Marlins, his last start, after a fractured thumb. So he wasn't looking very good in that start. Ended up giving up 5 runs, 11 hits, and 3 2/3. He did strike out 5. So there was a little bit of rust going on with him as well. He was pretty decent last year for the Astros. He had 10.6 strikeouts per 9. So this is a guy that is going to get a lot of swing and miss. The one thing that was plaguing him a bit last season was the lack of command. 4 walks per 9 last year, 1.3 home runs per 9. So combine that, some rust. This could be another good matchup for the Red Sox. But, with Dustin May, you never know. This could be a slugfest here in game 2. We'll see. And then in game 3, interesting matchup. Walker Buehler going up against Hunter Brown. Now, we just saw Walker Buehler here in San Diego back on Friday night. One of his best starts of the year, pitching mostly from the stretch and leading with the fastball. That's the most fastballs that Walker Buehler's thrown in a start all year. Let's see what ends up happening here. And I forgot to mention that in that start as well in the postgame that night where he was pitching out of the stretch. We saw the same thing with Brian Bale, and look at the run that Brian Bale went on. Could this be the same thing for Walker Buehler? We'll see, but he looked very comfortable in that last start. It looked like he had a game plan. He was focused on, again, going with the fastball. He was working with that. He was using the secondaries off the fastball. So we'll see here. Walker Buehler, like I've said with him a couple of times, he's like a box of chocolates. You just don't really know what you're going to get. Will he stick with the fastball against this Astros team? Will he keep pitching out of the stretch? I don't know. But it's going to be a tough matchup here with Hunter Brown. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. 2.51 ERA, 23 starts. If you go to his metrics on StatCast, it is just red all over the place. He's not really going to give up a lot of hard contact. We've already seen Hunter Brown here back in that last series at Fenway Park. Going back to that last start, Taking a look-see. I mean, they couldn't really do anything against him. 7 hits, four hits, 1 earned, 6 Ks. I mean, the guy was phenomenal in that one. So this is going to be tough. But if Buehler can keep doing what he's doing, hey, try and give the Red Sox a shot here. We'll see. But I do think this is a favorable series for the Red Sox here, especially with Crochet in Game 1. Again, you got to go out there and execute. Just because you got Garrett Crochet on the mound doesn't mean it's a locked down win, even though Christian Javier is making his first start. You got to go out there and get the job done at the end of the day. We'll see how this ends up going. We do have a couple of things to talk about before we get out of here when it comes to the AAA level. We got Payton Tuley making his debut today at AAA, and Christian Campbell had a home run today. I actually got some highlights for you. Let's take a look here at Payton Tuley, and we'll dive into his start. I'll be right back.
Glorious first inning, 25 pitches. He's got his first AAA strike.
And Cord out in front. Was introduced, Payton Tuley.
Rightfully so. There's been a ton of buzz as he drops another slider. And 2 Ks to end the frame. But the long ball by the Bisons gives them.
After the first, could be good night.
0-2. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Backdoored the slider perfectly. Third strikeout for Tuley.
Yeah, really good pitch. I think that's a good way to approach.
Alrighty. So, as you saw there, he was racking up a few strikeouts, but it wasn't a great day on the stat sheet for Payton Tuley. He got off to an absolutely miserable start in this one. I was watching this. You know, I've caught a few of the Woo Sox games this year, but I was really dialed into this one here today. That first inning for Payton Tuley was miserable on the day. I mean, holy cow. Just taking a look here. We can go take a look. Over here on the game day page. It got off to a good start. Jonathan Clase, he popped out to first base in foul territory. And then Andres Jimenez, who's making a rehab assignment there, he got a base hit. And then there was a big play, a big possible double play opportunity for Mikey Romero. And on the transfer, he just flubbed it. You know, he just, made an error, but then it kind of, everything just started falling apart after that. RJ Schreck had the walk. And then Riley Terada, grand slam. And you're thinking, what the heck just happened here? We're almost out of this inning. And then all of a sudden, they hit a grand slam and they're up 4-0, right? And then, it didn't stop there, though. Yohendrick Pinango had the base hit. And then Aurelvis Martinez, he was one of the top prospects in the game not too long ago. He's still down at AAA. He had a home run, 2-run homer. They made it 6-0. But then he got a couple of strikeouts there. We just showed those on the highlights. And after that, he pretty much settled in, and he was fantastic after that. Ended up sitting down out of the last 17 hitters, he sat down 14. And again, not a pretty stat line when you look at it. But I think what, in my opinion, was there was just a lot of nerves going on here today for Payton Tuley. This was a pretty anticipated AAA debut. A lot of Red Sox fans are paying notice to this one here today. They probably had more tickets sold here today. A lot of people were paying attention, and I'm sure there was, he had some butterflies there. And I think after he got out of that, he had a couple of strikeouts. He just got comfortable. He took a deep breath, and he just dialed in. With Payton Tuley, the one big thing with him is the fastball. It's got a ton of life. It's got good velo as well from the left side. But you started seeing him as he went further into the start, even after giving up the couple of home runs, you started seeing him go to the secondaries a little bit more. He was going to the slider, right? He was working in the cutters. I mean, he was going fastball cutter, it felt like, for the most part in the beginning. But then he started working in those secondaries, right? The slider. He's working in that changeup. And then he just seemed like he just settled in after that. And I think there was a lot of good things here on his start for the day. I think if you just take out that first inning, I think it was a pretty encouraging start here for Payton Tuley. He's got the first one under his belt. Let's see how the next one goes. And who knows, maybe a couple more. Maybe there will be a conversation about Tuley possibly coming up to the major league level. I think when you just watched that start today, minus the first inning, I think I think you see a lot of promise there. I was very excited to watch that one today. But we also had Christian Campbell getting in on the action here today. Christian Campbell has been fantastic. Let's go take a look at today.
As Campbell goes high and deep to left field. Penyango looking up, and that baseball's on the berm. Christian Campbell goes up and away, and a 2-run shot. And the
I love that. I love the little celebration. If you're live with me, I love that celebration that he was doing on the base path. So that's hilarious to me. But Christian Campbell here today. Very good day for him, but he's been hitting great as of late. Taking a look here at the numbers, in July, down in AAA, hit 273, had a 373 on base, a 443 on the slugging. And he's keeping that going here in the month of August. Has a 389 on base, slugging at a 400, had the home run there today. And I think Christian Campbell, he's starting to really show that he's comfortable here. And he's starting to get the job done. And I wonder... And because of the good consistency that he's showing, could you end up seeing Christian Campbell back up at the major league level? Rosters are going to be expanding here soon, 26 to 28 in September. Could one of those spots be for Christian Campbell? We'll just have to wait and see. I do feel like they need to get another bat up there. And with Campbell, the one thing they did want him to work on was pulling the ball a little bit more, and we just saw there today, he just cranked it out to left field. He's been doing a better job at pulling, especially in the air. We'll see if that's going to be enough to help him get back to the major leagues. But everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. Thank you for joining here today for the post-game show, both on YouTube and on Nesson. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Go enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you then.